Hello, ladies. Welcome to All Things Woman, where we identify, uproot, and plant seeds to help you flourish as a woman.
Hello, fellas. Welcome to All Things Men, where we identify, disagree, and put our foot down.
Oh, God. Here we go.
I think this is necessary because your man's is back on the show again. She just can't get rid of me, y'all.
I cannot get rid of him, y'all.
I need to have you on the show again. I know you do. So we about to start this off right. Introduction had to be different. I represent the fellas today.
Here he go, y'all. Y'all remember him last season and how he cut up every time he was on the show.
Every time.
So here we are again.
Every time.
With his shenanigans.
Oh, yeah. That's how we do. That's how we get down every time.
I love it, though. It wouldn't be us if he did not do what he do.
Facts. You know I like to laugh and have fun, especially with my best friend.
Yes, best friend. That's my best friend.
But even as best friends, we sometimes have to work on our communication.
That we do.
So would you like to tell the ladies and the men what this is about today before we go into the new year, we got to get this right.
Absolutely. Guys, today we are talking about necessary conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Necessary. This is what we're going to be talking about today.
And this is for all relationships.
All relationships. It doesn't have to be about marriage. It doesn't have to be just about friendship. Any relationship that you're in, I am encouraging you before the end of this year, you know if you need to have a necessary conversation.
Right.
You know if there's something that you need to clarify, get understanding on, whatever it may be. You need to have a necessary conversation, but I want to help you all at how to have proper conversations, necessary conversations.
Yeah.
They may be hard.
Right. They're challenging.
They may be challenging.
Awkward.
Some may actually go great. You never know. Either way, one thing that I can stand on, it's necessary to have the conversation. Right. So don't end this year without having that necessary conversation.
And as I'm representing the fellas, the reason why I feel like this is definitely important on our side is because we struggle with communication.
Yes.
Usually it's the men, not always, because men struggle usually with communicating.
Yes.
We struggle with expressing ourselves.
Yeah.
And what you're doing is stunting your relationship.
Yes.
Whether it's a business relationship, a friendship, or marriage or engagement, whatever you may have.
Yeah.
It takes those awkward, hard, necessary conversations in order to grow.
Yes.
In order for the relationship to grow.
Yes.
Why? because even in our marriage, after we've had those some throw, we've had a couple throwdowns. Not a lot.
Not a lot.
But we
done
had
had
our
some.
moments, and then we got our little. But now we're able to be authentic.
Absolutely.
Now we can let our hair down.
Yes.
Now you see me, I see you.
Yes.
And so it's necessary in order for the relationship to continue to grow and evolve into something real.
Yeah.
Because if you're withholding communication, this person don't know what's going on in your head or in your heart.
Right.
So it's needed. It's definitely needed.
I agree. I have had to have several necessary conversations this year, and it has been a beautiful process to see how the conversations turned out. And so as I was thinking about what I needed to do for this episode and what was something that I wanted to give you guys before we even went into the holiday season celebrating Christmas and New Year, and this came to mind. And so you may not have all of the tools at how to go about these necessary conversations. So today we want to give you a few things that you can take with you as you go into having these necessary conversations. So the first one, we kind of sat with some stuff and we came up with some stuff together. So we're going to kind of go through it. Please take notes of this, guys. Like, ladies too, like, really take notes on this because I want these conversations to be successful for you. I want them to be helpful for you. I want them to be something that lift a heaviness off of your heart, off of your mind, something that lets you feel free going into 2024.
Right.
Because you're not carrying that same thing into the new year with you.
But you know, before you go into that though, I want to clarify that just because your relationship has some necessary conversations that need to be had, doesn't mean you have a bad relationship. Right?
Yeah.
And a happy one, a happy or a good relationship, it's not a conflict-free relationship.
Come on, say it again.
If you've seen someone, you know someone who's been friends for years, well, it could be, you know, one of them unicorns where we never fought. Like, God bless you.
God bless
but
you.
they've mastered having necessary conversations.
Absolutely.
So don't think that, you know, just because you may argue or disagree that it's a bad, that don't mean it's a bad relationship.
It's not bad at all.
It might mean it's healthy.
Absolutely.
It might mean that each person feels free to express themselves.
Yes.
They don't have to hide or bite their tongue.
Yeah.
And of course, with two strong personalities, you got to agree to disagree sometimes.
Absolutely.
So I just want to get that out there.
Yeah.
Like, don't be putting your relationship, you know, giving it a bad evaluation because you know, some things is hard to talk about.
Right. You just got to get the tools and talk about it. It's going to make the relationship stronger.
Yeah.
So the first one I want to dig into is when you're going into these necessary conversations, you got to start with respect.
That's right.
You have to show respect to the person that you are coming to the table with, too, I'll say. Give them what you would want to receive.
Yeah.
Give them what you would want to receive. View them as a human. View them as a person that deserves respect.
That's right.
I think sometimes when we're having necessary conversations, we can let the issue become the bigger thing that you lose focus of what respect should look like for that person.
Yeah.
All you care about is what you want to say.
Right.
That you don't think about what does respect sounds like to them?
Yeah.
What does that look like for them?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and minus the name calling, minus the sarcasm, minus the potty mouth. I had to grow out of that. I was real
Mr.
bad.
Sarcasm.
I was
right
Mr.
here.
Sarcasm all day. Like, oh, okay, you're the smartest person in the world. Oh, I didn't know that. Just found that out a minute ago. Yeah, I grew out of that. I don't do that no more.
You don't do it no more.
I don't do that. So
you don't do it no more.
You know,
Thank you, God.
And those things only add a tumor to a problem that's already present.
Yes, it does.
You know, those, you know, the attitude and, you know, the name calling and the disrespect.
Yeah.
Now we got a problem with the problem and we got to plow through that before we get to why we even here.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Another thing you got to do is come with an open mind. You got to be willing to see the situation from the other person's perspective.
Right.
And one of the tips that I always give young couples that are looking, you know, to get married, I say, hey, you have to steal your emotions.
Yes.
And not respond out of emotion.
Yeah.
You have to not defend your point. Don't come in ready to defend your side.
That's
but
good.
come in ready to understand what that, especially in marriage.
Yes.
Understand what that person is
saying to you.
Try to, you know, incarnate yourself in their emotions. Put on their frustration. Put on their hurt. And say, hey, so what you're telling me is when I did this, this is what you mean by that.
Yeah.
So you have to come with an open mind. Be willing to hear their side as well.
Yeah. And I would say on the flip side, an open mind of how that person processed. Like, I had to have a few conversations and I learned a few things throughout them this year. Like, everybody don't think like you.
That's facts.
Everybody doesn't approach a thing like you do. So you have to be open-minded to their thinking and how they process. And I think that is so important because if you don't have an open mind to how they process, how they think, you will sit in an unnecessary offense.
Yeah, right.
Because once you understand it and you have an open mind to it, then you understand them more.
Right.
And then you can see why they probably did what they did.
Right.
Or why they do what they do.
Yeah.
And so have the open mind of that everybody's not like you, nor do they process like you.
Right.
They may process different. And it is okay to welcome that. Just because it's different doesn't mean it's wrong.
Exactly.
So having an open mind, that was hard for me. That was hard for me because it was just, I don't understand why you don't think like this.
Right.
I don't understand why you don't, like, this is common.
This is common sense to me. Right.
But that's not true.
Yeah.
We're all not made the same. I am a firecracker when it comes down to just approaching certain things. And so it's like, hey, I need you to be in it with me. Come on. And some people are not like that.
No.
And so understanding that and being able to come down to where they are and not always deliver from my communication style, I think it was a great lesson to learn. It was a great lesson to learn. What were you going to say?
No, go ahead. Go
ahead. Were you going to say something else on that one? Okay. So the next one that I want to go into is recognizing the underlying pain that's in those conversations. There's something there. And you have to be able to see what that pain is. Yeah. Because if you don't see what the pain is, then you're literally going to be going in circles. And you ain't even going to know what y'all talking about.
Right.
Because you don't know what is the pain, what has hurt them, what has hurt you.
Yeah.
Because it's not all the time is that you yelled at me. It's that you didn't treat me as a human to think of me enough to talk calm or to see it from my point of view.
Yeah.
And so you have to recognize what is that thing that hurt them as a person or even hurt you to be able to articulate.
Now, in order to do that, pain, right? Pain usually has a wound. It's an affliction from a wound that's happened in the past. So a lot of times we have to go back.
Yeah.
We have to go back and understand where that pain is coming from.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Depending on how long you done sat on it.
Right. It may be dealing with, hey, I was verbally abused. So when you raise your voice, that opens up a wound for me.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I was abandoned. And so when you didn't show up for my, graduation. That you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so you have to recognize the pain and share that pain with that significant other or that person that's close to you. So they'll know, okay, I know I can't do this.
Right.
I can't allow this to happen because they have shared their feelings. They've shared some pain points with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, you made fun of me because I didn't have a couple dollars, but I grew up,
struggling.
You know what I'm saying? Not knowing my next meal. You just can't joke with me like that.
Yeah. And I think the one thing too, as I just processing this conversation even now that we're having with you guys, it is so important that you be very clear at who you're in relationship with, right?
Yeah.
To know the person inside out. A lot of things. I'm not going to say everything because I think you're continuing to learn a person daily, monthly, yearly.
Right.
You're always learning something new. There's always something new to learn about a person because we're forever changing. So you have to spend time at getting to know that person enough to know those things and how to see the underlining. How to know them enough to be like, I can't. Okay, I can't do this. I can't approach it this way because
boundaries.
It's boundaries to know the limit of that's not gonna work.
Another thing too is you have to remember you're on the same team with that friend, that coworker. Hopefully, we know how the workplace can go. That spouse, and so just because they disagree don't mean that they're your enemies.
Yeah.
Just disagreement is not beef.
Yeah.
It's communication.
Yes.
I'm going to say that again.
That's
that was
real
good. Disagreement is not beef. It's communication.
Yeah.
It's two people filtering and figuring out what they feel, what they believe about a certain point, a certain principle, or a certain event that has happened. So at the end of the day, you got to understand the intent of this person. It's not to attack you, but to be understood.
Yeah.
So, we're on the same team.
Yeah.
And I've had to remind myself that sometimes because we've had some necessary conversations. And I felt like, okay, that's how you feel.
How you really feel.
Fellas, sometimes these women can make us feel like Mighty Mouse, or they can make us feel like Superman, just with a little. So that's what you was gonna do. Y'all know I ain't lying. Just take the air out of your balloon. You be excited. So I gotta remember, and I've grown to understand that. Yeah, man. Tiff is my ride or die. Like, if she's saying something I don't want to hear, it's probably because she sees something I don't see yet.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
And that's the blessing of knowing that whatever your situation may be, is on your team.
Yes.
And knowing that in your heart.
Yeah.
So I know that when you say some rough stuff, you're not really attacking me. You ain't. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you're a grown woman. You don't want no. Yeah. You don't want no beef. You don't want no conflict.
I was gonna say, it's like, it sucks to live in a mindset of that the person is against you.
Right.
And I feel like that's something that comes from the enemy, or even a deep underlying issue, pain. Mm-hmm. It want to feed you that this person is against you instead of on your side. People only say something because they love you.
That's right.
They only tell you truth because they love you.
That's so good.
I mean, it's rare that you find somebody that's just out here that's just I woke up ready to just tell somebody off today.
Well, depending on the situation, some folks want to be messy.
Yeah, now some do want to be messy, but then in the mess, it's still never even really truth.
Right.
It's their opinion. It's their thought of something.
Yeah.
Not all the time is it truth. But when I'm giving a person truth, that comes from a place of love.
Yeah.
That comes from a place of me wanting to see us win, you win as a person. And so I think it's very important to remember that you are on the same team. And that's, like he said, it's not only in marriage, but it's even in friendship.
That's right.
It's even in dealing with your children.
Yeah.
Dealing with, if I'm talking to some leaders, dealing with members or people that you lead over, you guys are on the same team.
Yeah.
So you even have to remember that going in to have the conversation, just as well as the person has to remember it that's listening to what's being said to them.
Good.
Same team, dream team.
Right.
We just want to win.
That's right.
We want to become better.
Right.
You know? So I think with remembering that you're on the same team, you have to do things along the journey. Like when you feel like it's becoming too much, you may have to hit the pause button. You may have to stop and say, listen, this done went too far.
But Tiff, that kind of goes into your next point.
Yeah.
That goes right into your next point. You said pause, stop, because the next point that we were going to address is that if it gets too heated, take a minute.
Yeah.
Take a breather.
Yeah.
Take a break.
Yeah. Because I think what happens is if you don't take a break or pause, that feeling, that adrenaline will overtake you.
Yep.
It will literally overtake you.
Yeah, you be drunk with emotions.
Yeah, drunk with emotions. And then, emotions kind of just lead us whichever way. They ain't got no facts to them. They just be saying whatever they feel in the moment.
Right.
I feel right now I'm angry, so I'm going to say something to hurt you. And so you have to know the boundaries of when to pause and say, hold on, we're not getting nowhere.
Yeah.
This is not becoming productive. You're not hearing me. I'm not hearing you. Or you're not respecting me. I'm not respecting you. Let's stop.
Right.
And sit for a moment. And in that moment of pausing, you may need to pray. You may need to ask, why aren't you hearing me?
Yeah, that's good.
Can you repeat this back to me? Because I think you aren't hearing what I'm saying clearly.
Yeah. So
repeat what you're hearing to me. So then now we can know how to pivot. We can know how to reroute, re-say some things. That takes maturity. That takes self-control.
Yep.
Because you now have to put your flesh in check and pause. Not allow your flesh to have its way and say, no, I got this and I'm going to just say what I want to say and I'm going to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
So operate in self-control enough to say, all right, I've went too far.
Yeah.
Or I'm not doing good at this point in the conversation. Let's stop, try again.
That's good. And then you can come back. And no matter what, you keep fighting for a resolution.
Yes.
How are we going to solve this? No matter what.
Yeah.
You don't want to sweep it under the rug.
Yeah.
Because if you sweep it under the rug, it just becomes a cancer to your relationship.
Yes.
That it never really got solved, and you never know. A month later, a year later, 5 years later, you still dealing with something that you didn't really get a resolution on.
Yeah.
How are we going to solve this?
Yes.
What is going to be our compromise?
Yeah.
How are we going to meet in the middle? And it may take time.
Yeah.
It may take time. It may take other counselors.
Yes.
It may take intervention.
Third
it may
party.
take
Yes.
may sitting down with your pastor or sitting down with an elder or a therapist or a counselor. But you hopefully you're in a relationship with someone that's worth the work.
Yes.
And
Yes,
that matters.
Yeah, it does.
Because I'm telling you this right now. I like my peace.
Yes. Child.
And I'm not having tough conversations with people I don't need to have that ain't worth the work.
Like,
I'm not having tough conversations with people that are not worth the work.
Yes.
I'm not losing sleep over it, so why am I gonna have this awkward I'm going to bed.
I'm over it. I'm not gonna worry about it.
But that's why it's so hard, because this is good. Because and why men sometimes don't have tough conversations with their wives is because it disturbs their peace. And it's like, you can't have peace and disagreement at the same time in a way that you would want it, right?
In the way that you would want it. That's a good point. Yeah.
But what you don't realize is that little turbulence is going to get you to another fortified level of peace.
Yes.
But you have to go through the turbulence first.
Yes.
And so it's better to just, because sometimes fellas, after we're truthful with our I'm talking to the married fellas. Sometimes y'all women just go off the handle. Y'all have an attitude.
We do.
3 days later, y'all still like, It's like, man, come on. That's why I don't say that.
Yes.
So that's why some couples probably, especially in relationships, they find it hard to have those necessary conversations, because they may be like me. They're trying to avoid conflict.
And I think to that point, and this is where it is very important to make sure that the person that you're having this hard conversation with feels safe.
Yeah.
Feel safe in that space to say what they need to say, and that you won't withhold something from them. That's super important. And this is, I would say, it's good in all relationships, but especially in marriage.
Yeah.
Your spouse needs to be able to feel safe enough to come say something hard, and it not, for a long time, flip their lives upside down.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, you then create this thing of, this is why I don't say nothing.
Right.
That's why I ain't gonna say nothing. That's the last time I'm saying it. And so then everybody begin to walk around on eggshells unnecessarily, right?
And it becomes even fear.
Yeah, it becomes fearful of what happened. And for women, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
And for women, because you never know how a situation will turn out. Right? So it's like, if I say this, what's going to happen?
Right.
Is he going to receive this? Is he going to cheat on me? Is he going to, you have all of these things, especially if some women have some insecurities inside of them, with whether it's having hard conversations or what they need to talk about, whatever it may be. It's like, what is going to be the result?
Right.
Which goes back to the one point we said, remembering that you're on the same team. The result can always be, we going to get through it.
That's it.
If you remember that we're on the same team.
That's bottom line.
And yes, just like, it's hard right now. It's frustrating, and I'm mad, and I don't want to be mad. She's mad, and I want this to be over. But we're going to get through this. It's not over yet.
Yeah.
But it will be.
And I've definitely learned in our marriage, in those situations, I've learned that we are not just this argument.
Yeah. Yes.
We're so much more than this.
So much more, yes.
We have history. We have memories. We have what they call them. I can't think of the word I want to say when you look like the monumental moments, like things that we've accomplished.
Yeah.
And, this relationship, the years together.
Yeah.
We're friends.
Yes.
We're co-workers.
Yes.
We're business partners.
Yes.
We're intercessors for each other. So it's like, it's so much more. We're so much more. Yes. I cannot bottle this relationship and just box it into this argument.
It's one little moment.
Some people might do that and can't think of this person without the filter of that argument. Like, they're seeing through the argument, and it's like, no, this is just something you got to work out, but you're so much more than that.
Yeah.
You accomplish so many things.
Yeah.
And so much more to accomplish.
Yes. And I think too that when it gets to that point of that you can't see beyond this there's an underlining thing.
Yeah, there's something there.
It's something there.
You know what's happening?
What?
Tolerance is running out.
So now it's
somebody
a good excuse.
Somebody tired of putting up with something.
So now it seems like a good excuse
They like, listen.
to be like, see this, I can't get past this. I can't get over this.
What SpongeBob said, I'm a head on out. this my stop.
Which
good in here.
Yes you are, sir. Yes you are. And it's like that's a truth that you really got to sit with inside yourself as a person. If you are watching this and you found yourself in that, like, I'ma just take the head on out route.
Right.
What's going on?
Right.
What's really going on?
Yeah,
Sit with yourself to really see what's going on, because now you're taking little things and you're making them 10 times bigger because you're tired and you really do want out from something else.
Yeah.
So go sit with your truth.
Yeah.
In that area and not make this one little thing that is just unforgivable. It's seeable. Like, you have to deal with what's really going on. And I think the last point that I wanted to talk on is, in all of this, for our married people, I'm always hoping for reconciliation, right? Always rooting for it, believe in it. It may take work. And not reconciliation, but reconnection.
Okay.
That's the word I really wanted to use. Reconnection. I feel like after it all, after you have reconciled, you come to your resolutions and you are like, what's next? Reconnect in a new way, where it builds the friendship, it builds the marriage, it builds the communication, it builds new memories together, because you guys have come through it. In friendship, you may reconnect. You may not reconnect.
Yeah.
That's that reality. You don't have to reconnect.
Right.
Within marriage, reconnect.
Right.
You got to reconnect. That's the goal. They ain't going nowhere.
Right.
That is the goal. That is the surviving side. That is the life-giving side of it all, after having necessary conversations. But the reality is, when it comes down to the other relationships in your life, reconnecting may not be the best thing.
I tell you this though, I'm a sucker for reconnecting, just on the sake of history.
Yeah.
Like, I've got friends, James and Larry, Andre, Mario Davis, man, and then I got, friends that I met later in life, Royce, Petey, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's too much history with those guys if we were to fall out, not to reconnect.
Right.
But if I met you yesterday,
you might not make it in that.
I'm a head on out, let you. Just wasn't meant to be. But, seriously, like, I feel so bad when, when I hear people with long-term relationships just can't reconnect. I mean, and it's not necessarily bad. It might be healthy.
Yeah.
It might be healthy not to reconnect.
It may be. That's why I said
but
it may not be. Yes, because I think it's both sides, right? So to the point that you say, because of the history, right?
Yeah.
There's work that you always have to put in.
Always.
To making sure that the reconnection works, right?
Always.
And that is on both parties
to
do. If both parties are not putting forth the same effort to reconnect, it won't work. It won't work at all.
That's right.
But, on the flip side, if I just met you
and we fell out,
I really got to sit with if it's worth the reconnect or not. Because
it just might not be.
It might not be. And you maybe was for a season, and I'm okay, right?
Okay. That's
and
right.
It's okay. There's nothing wrung with that. I don't think anything is wrong with that. Learn the lessons from it. Keep the memory that you did have for the 4 weeks of being friends. Whatever it may be. Like, it's okay to move forward.
Yeah. And with that, we're going to move forward and close out this show.
Yes.
Because
our kids are acting crazy.
We can be here for another 30 minutes. And folks don't watch hour shows anymore. So please, as you're going into the new year, have those necessary conversations. If this video came up in your feed, it came up on your timeline, somebody sent it to you, whatever, however it got to you.
Hold on. You don't get to close out my show.
I do, because
you don't.
This is our show today.
No, it's my show.
Wait a minute. That was a nice close I was doing.
But it's
and
not
you
your
just
close.
Interrupted me.
It's not your close.
But I was just kind of giving the pre-close.
All things men.
I was giving the pre-close.
All things men.
We need,
not all things women.
As you see, we need to have a necessary conversation.
I'm just trying to remind him that this ain't his show.
Close.
Because he think every time he come on here,
close.
It's his show. It's not his show.
I didn't know she was the closer.
I am the opener and the closer.
Let the people go. They're tired. Let them go. Release the people, please.
I can't stand him, y'all. I can't stand him. This is the shenanigans that I have to deal with all the time.
All right.
All the time.
Can you release the people? Close. Go ahead.
Thank you. So, guys, thank you for tuning in. I hope that you have gained something from this conversation today, because it was a necessary conversation to encourage you all to go have necessary conversations.
I like what you did there. Wasn't better than mine.
This is why it is my show, and I'm supposed to close it, not him.
This is my camera.
Who cares?
Oh, we can't say it. I got to beep you out on your own show. Oh, make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Hater. Yes, please go like, comment, and subscribe. Share.
What's this, y'all? What's this? All right, y'all, we out.
He want me to end so bad, but he keep interrupting me.
Go ahead, like, comment, share.
Yes, and next week, come back, because it is Christmas and we are still doing a show. I have a wonderful topic that I feel like is very necessary for us to have.
We out, y'all.
We out, y'all. Till next week.